So, yo, to the yo, and for you, we made it. We scheduled the live stream today, and then we pushed it out for an hour to see that that all clicked in, and it did. But I am here early by just going ahead and pressing live. So that's kind of a not too sure how often we'll use the uh, rescheduler, but the scheduler worked out well. You get to see the banner of the channel, and so I thought it looked pretty good. And the chat, of course, is the place to be. I think that when you build up a channel anyway, the chat pre-live can be kind of a cool place for the subscribers to run to and chat with one another, as it should be. So that's can be probably a good thing to encourage, which I did today. So welcome to Sebastian Rogers, a new voice on the case. I'm Beauty Bubble, your host this evening, and tonight we're going to be reviewing the recording of the news conference where authorities provided an update on the search February 29th, 2024. So just a few days after, we're going to hear the gravitas, the meaningfulness, the intention of law enforcement. And there's a piece here where we will see all of the activity and the groups where they've put their badges or their placards up. So I thought we would kind of take a look and make sure that we understood clearly how many people were involved in the search that brought back 0 clues. Oof. It's tough, isn't it? It's very, very tough to hear this sort of thing. Like I said about the chat, if you popped in early, you'd be able to see that I was in and out of the chat during the wait time. Encouraging also that there are 2 prior live streams. Thank you so much for the views. We did, I think we had 50 views on the first episode. We will be going live every day in June. And I want to say thank you very much. And we even have a couple new subscribers. So bravo to YouTube for giving us the opportunity to come together and be in a what I have committed to. Let me run over to my Twitter. And yes, I've been with them long enough now that I go back and forth between Twitter and not Twitter. During the month of June, I will be going live on YouTube every day covering a true crime case. The new banner and thumbnail art is done. The format of the description is in place. So those things really won't change for the entire month. And I've done these reboots many times before, and I always learn something new. YouTube is not easy. It is available, and it is a beautiful platform, but it certainly is not easy. As we can see, it comes with its woes and worries and egos and eccentricities. It is a very wild place. But here at A New Voice on the Case, at least for the month of June, it's just going to be casual. There's no sides. It's a drama-free agenda and no panel. So this is, when I've done these reboots before, it's to give me a chance to build up some public speaking confidence and see if I can, for those of you who are consumers of content, you'll totally get this. You want to say something, but you just don't know if it's that important to say at that time. And because YouTube Live is just so ephemeral, you've got to come in, you have got to understand your personality, you have to be bigger than life. It does not do wallflower very well. And, you'll have a thought and you'll go, yeah, that's right. Why why are we looking at that? And then it just kind of goes away, right? Your day just goes on. You certainly can't imagine me going live an hour every day. So that's 30 hours of rock'em sock'em. Aren't I funny? Aren't I cute? Wow, she thought about that. Or, oh, wow, her words just roll off her tongue. And you can see why it's much more akin to human nature to do and go into the slur, the huge, like 6.5 hour long cursey words. It's just easier. Isn't that crazy? I know it doesn't sound like it would be, but it's just so much easier when you've got I guess it's our nature to, what is it called when you're fighting for your territory? We're very territorial creatures. And obviously, if we didn't think that we were right, we wouldn't survive ever. So it's all it's very kind of a human experience. And when you're looking at any of the missing children's cases, you try to think to yourself, well, when would I get like crude and crass and like why would I do that? But it's very easy to do, and we are seeing a full implosion inside of this particular case happening now. We've seen it before with the Summer Wells case, and we've seen it before in other cases where it's just long-legged, it's long suffering, and then people, it's kind of well, it's hard to watch unfold like that. So in my description, I do say in the very beginning, I try to lay out what I'm here to do, and my ideas of things. And the number one thing that we have to always make sure is that we can be heard. Yeah, so we do a little bit of a sound check, and I do that on my own. Don't need to ask you if you can hear me because I can hear myself. I am wearing the Bose cancellation on an Audio Technica microphone with a bit of a pop filter. Probably will get another one because my, as anyone could expect, my voice has changed, and maybe you'll even notice down through the month that, wow, Beauty has, she's speaking faster. She's able to form her words better. I'm still very, and I get like this all the time. I'm what's called I choke. So like public speaking, public speaking is just, I suck at it. I had to tell there's a couple big YouTubers that have a Discord, and I went in and they DM'd me and they asked me a bunch of questions. And so I had to let them know that I'm in their Discord because, I've been with YouTube for many, many years and I still suck at it. And they didn't write me back. You're not supposed to suck. You're not supposed to suck at YouTube in their Discord. I thought that was very funny. I'm still in their Discord, but just the fact that I would be honest about that, I just simply am not very good at it. There's another great YouTuber years ago who just came out one day and said, if this isn't working for you, maybe it's not for you. And I was like, but I don't know. Don't you say that, weirdo. No, it's for everybody. Everyone has a voice. Come on now. And of course, over the years, you can see that it isn't for everybody. But what I can tell you is that when I come, I am being me. And I think that the more successful that you get on YouTube, that you end up having to walk away from who you are. You have an agenda. If there's money involved, that certainly changes the dynamic. YouTube, I was monetized once on YouTube years and years ago. And the first payday came around and I had 11 cents. I thought I was dripping in gold. I was so happy. I had cracked the code. I was so happy. And it's like 11 cents just for being online and speaking about something that I'm passionate about and know quite a bit about. I got 11 cents. Well, then I got demonetized, not through any fault. It was just that they had changed the whether it was watch hours or what have you. And so they kept that 11 cents for years. I want to tell you one of the best 10x returns I have ever been involved in was that 11 cents. And so YouTube, years and years, it goes by, and I get an email, and they're like, "We've deposited $1 into," and I know actually I think it was like $10. We've deposited $10 into your account, and I just couldn't believe it that I'd made 11 cents, and then years later, not being where I was monetized every single month, I had accrued enough interest with Google that I got $10. So just to be clear, the channel is not monetized, although you may see ads on the channel. That's just Google. I've been on YouTube for, like I said, for a very long time, and because I cover a Bitcoin as well, sometimes they'll throw ads, toss ads on my archived videos. So, but for now, and I did say this, that I think that, yeah, I talked about this yesterday. I do think that the monetization opportunity combined with the true crime storyline, and then you're being asked to, do all of these things as a subscriber. I'm just not too sure that it should be done every day the way that it is. So for now, we're good, right? You can know that, whoa, beauty is not monetized. That's the place I want to be. Because if there's anything she knows how to do, it's take 11 cents and turn it into $10. So with that little story said, we are going to be pressing play, and it will be the same sort of theory. You'll hear the Nexstar Media WKRN piece. It is a little bit longer. I don't think we're going to make it through the entire interview or the press conference, which is okay. I'm pretty sure that, we'll either return to it or, we'll mix the rest of it in at another time. So with that said, yesterday I did notice that the audio was quite a bit decayed. Now, WKRN, I don't know if they are allowed to dumb the audio down. I'm not too sure. So I bumped it up all the way. So in my monitors, it might be way too loud, but I'm not going to turn it down. See if that makes any bit of a difference. But I do know that yesterday's video was a little, hard to hear. You can, of course, these are all older videos. You can go in, and I'm giving full credit to Nexstar WKRN, and definitely check out their channel. They still do not have a playlist. When after about 10 days, we'll build a playlist so that there's enough in the playlist to be worthwhile. And with that said, let us get into the press conference right now. We have to go back in time to February, what did we say? February 29th. February 29th, 2024. Oh my gosh, my heart just like sank. I was writing how many days he had been gone when we did the Seth Rogers' most recent interview. And I think that all of us that are kind of in this case, that there's something, you get kind of a weird, like, I get like a lump in my throat about this because we all know that this has just been too long, and it's okay if they know, if they have received something, that they know something that we don't know anything about. Like, we have to be okay with that. But amongst ourselves, to be walking around and realizing that he's been gone this long, it's such a wrench. It's a different kind of a heartbreak, because you're going to hear this, all the people involved in trying to find him. So let's go ahead and hear from the authorities. Here we go.
Any moment right now, an update on the search for that missing teenager, Sebastian Rogers. Let's listen in live.
Here in a few moments, I'll go through some slides and show you what we've done over the past 4 days of searching. Really wanted to come to the community and ask for your help. We need you to search your properties every day, morning and night. If there's a shed or a crawl space or up under your mobile home or a tarp that's in your yard, check it every morning and check it every night. Look for any details that something has been disturbed. If there's a shirt that was there today that wasn't there yesterday, notify us. You can really help us by searching your own property twice a day. Like I said, we're operating under the assumption that Sebastian walked off, and we really need your help.
Okay, we're operating under the assumption that Sebastian walked off. He walked off. We now know that there was no scent and no proof, and we're going to hear it in this interview, that there was no proof that when you talk about walk off, and we all know what the house looks like, that he walked off that property. He walked off that front porch. He walked away from the window ledge. He walked out of the back porch. He walked off that property. This is what they're saying even back then, that they were searching under the assumption that he walked off. The assumption that he walked off. I don't know if we had heard those words and repeated those words to ourselves, that we would be in the situation that we are in the discussion. And another thing is, they're saying that if you've seen anything in your yard that's different, he said, if you've seen a shirt, so I could see maybe if you had seen a shirt if he was wearing a button down or a jacket or something. And yesterday we talked about that he could have been wearing layers, right? So maybe a layer would have been removed, but it's like, why would he say a shirt? If you see a shirt, I don't get that. Let's keep going.
To ensure that he is brought home safely.
Okay, and when Chief talks about searching your homes, if you've got a farm, we're well aware that the tendency to follow creeks is great, and we've actually done some case studies, some history on calls and searches in the past where young men or young women have traveled to creeks. So we want you to look at creeks. We want
men and women in the past that they'll travel the creeks, and I believe that in most cases, or at least this terrain, a creek bed will be a little bit more of a clearing, and then you can follow the creeks to the next town, follow the creeks to the next freeway, and that sort of thing. That if you follow the creeks. We don't really know how many private farms there are in the area, but we do know that there was one landowner who did refuse to have the property searched. You can go to that property. You used to be able to go on Google Images to look at the property to see, and there's a proper home there. It's actually very beautiful, the property. But there's enough of a clearing where the homeowner would have been able to see if he had come onto the property, like I think. So it isn't like, this holler that you would think about. It's a proper like farm property with enormous clearing, gated. So I guess he was confident that Sebastian had not come onto his property. Also that there were like trail, like for a four-wheeler around the property. His name was shared early on, who the property owner was, and I don't think that they were ever able to get a probable cause to come onto the property. I don't think he ever allowed anyone to come on. And so it's like, how many farm owners were like that? They're out of state, or, they say no, they've all agreed. No, you're not going to be taking 300 men coming onto my property like this. So people get very stern about what is theirs, and they have the right. I don't think that the Sumner County ever gave any of these homeowners. So there may be many, many farms that were never properly searched in the way that we would think that we would just open our home and have the authorities come on in. Let's keep going.
You look at ponds, and if you look at a pond, look for foot tracks around the pond. And then we'll go into, when Chief's ready, we're going to go into pictures, and we'll show you our operational periods and the maps that we use to track our searchers. Okay.
Now, very interesting point here. This is an operational map that they use to track their searchers. Okay. So we know that the parents have done private searches, but are there tracks on these maps? And not that there shouldn't be private searchers, but were the tracks of the parents also on these maps? At this particular time, remember, it's just a couple days out, and then the interview that we watched yesterday was a week out. And we know how many, 2,000 miles. And he clarifies this 2,000 miles from the day he went missing until the day of this press conference, that they had walked 2,000 miles, all documented. So I believe early on people had been asking Mr. Rogers, well, where was his search grid? And that never happened. We're going to see what the map looks like of the professional search parties.
Okay. So this is day one, and all of the rings you see are a fixed wing aircraft, TBI's fixed winged aircraft, and they use a FLIR, and they do a continual circle.
Now, is there any parent that would think that there needs to be more eyes on that part of the world than what they did there? This is the 5-mile search radius. And I suppose, and we've learned that they can do all of this until eternity. In a recent case, a gentleman went missing, and a year later they found him up in a tree. So of course this is very intense, ground search intense. Riparian searches, cave searches, up and down, drone up above. I believe they were doing heat mapping maybe. And he could have been in a tree. A year that fellow was in a tree for 1 full year before they found him.
On a 2-mile ring. And the video.
Oh, this is a 2-mile. This is only 2 miles. Gosh, that looks a lot bigger than 2 miles. Did he say 2 miles?
Quality and the pictures that they produce are amazing. And the lines that you see that are going all over the place, the green and the purple and the blues, those are helicopters, THP Metro. And then all of the lines in the middle, when you draw that in, those are our foot searchers. So in the first.
All the lines in the middle are the foot searchers. So none of these lines are to follow the parents, the searching of the parents. So we don't know where he searched. We've been told that he will search anywhere and everywhere, but there's no, like special color, like the family's colors are purple or what have you. So we have no idea. And if you look at the equine searches, once again, we're talking about, they're properly clothed. and, they can see great distances, they have binoculars and all manner of thing, and they're going through this terrain. You can see even from the horse to the left to the horse to the right, that this terrain would tire anyone. But he does speak, interestingly enough, about the one of the key features. I don't think anybody ever really talked about this, about autism, how sturdy they are. It's very interesting when he gets to that. Let's keep going.
First 2 days, we logged over 2,000 miles of personnel on foot doing searches in those search areas. If you want to go to the next page. So that's day 2. And you can see we're continuing to expand those search areas, and you'll see clues, you'll see markers. If a searcher finds something, they mark it. We send a detective or detectives to that scene or to that area. And if they find evidence, we haven't found any evidence. And but if they find something that they think is substantial, CID investigation.
A heartbreak in all of this. We haven't found any evidence. So sorry for me doing this emphasis, right? Instead of writing this down, I'm speaking it in my mic so that I'll remember. We haven't found any evidence. Oh, my God.
Going to the next day. That's the next day. TBI was back. That second day, we had really bad weather with rain. And so these are the rings from TBI again. And they did some almost tri-oval type figures when we were looking at particular areas. And
I think he said that they were doing some tribal rings. I guess that's maybe one of their terms, tribal or trial rings. I'm not really too sure about that. So these markers, you'll notice some of them say too thick, need drone, trail something, GSA. I don't know if these are search parties. There's Kellen Lane up there. Isn't that interesting that they went back to Kellen Lane? And it goes, let me see, something pond, mobile homes, something. All these little labels.
they were looking at streams at that time, and a lot of helicopter, and then more ground troops. And then we got one more day. And then today we're expanding west, and you can see those areas that personnel are searching. And so what we do is we get them in, and we've got an app that they utilize, and they create tracks.
Okay, so they expanded west. So you can see Kellen Lane right there. And so these must be plots, right? These are plots of land, and it looks like they went into one of those plots pretty heavy. Do you see the yellow squiggly? They really went into that section, so we have no idea. I don't know if those are, they're obvious plots, but it looks as though that they had some real focus over there. Like I said, I don't know where that would have been. That's the first time I'm kind of seeing that yellow scribbly, which must be the drone traffic just on that one plot.
And you can see the tracks in those sections as they do the search. And we've got several other things going on. We're utilizing drones, K9, and UTVs, ATVs, horses, aircraft, and anything at our disposal to get Sebastian located.
And you believe these aren't
Okay, so
her real
that
teeth?
running through.
Aspen Dental's dentures are cut.
There we go. All right, here we go on this one. These are all of the people involved. We have the Sumner County Emergency Communications Center, the Sumner County Sheriff of Tennessee, the Sumner County altogether, the Emergency Management Sumner County, Tennessee, the Sumner County EMS Emergency Medical Center, the Sumner County ECD. I mean, look, these are all divisions of one county, Sumner County. And then I believe the one here that's hidden behind would be the Bureau of Investigation for Tennessee, because I don't think the FBI was quite yet, fully there, but you can see Bureau of Investigation. So I think that might be the Tennessee Bureau.
Like Director Widener said, what you didn't see on there was any drone track. The drones aren't tracked on Sartopo. What you didn't see on there.
Oh, there's no drone traffic on that map. So you'd have to layer up the drone traffic.
Were several assets that didn't have the app that day. So what you're seeing is what we know we have tracked. Like I said, we're operating under the assumption that Sebastian walked off. We have no evidence to disprove that. The family has been nothing but cooperative with law enforcement in our investigation.
Once again, we'll get it here. Let me go back.
Tracked. Like I said, we're operating under the assumption that Sebastian walked off.
We're operating under the assumption that Sebastian walked off. Why does that bother me?
We have no evidence to disprove that. The family has been nothing but cooperative with law enforcement in our investigation. We are truly operating under the assumption that there's a child missing that needs our help. So if the public is out there and you have a house close by or not close by, right? Check your property twice a day. If you find something, call us. If you have trail cams out on properties that you hunt, check them. If there's an image that you think could be Sebastian, call us. Anything, any tip that you have, call us. We want to bring Sebastian home.
And when the chief says, even if it's not right here. So I actually spoke to the incident commander of a search operation that happened west of here, and a 14-year-old went missing, was found 9 days later, 6.2 miles from home. So we're looking at, we don't want to go out too far, too fast.
They didn't want to go out too far, too fast. So here's this, race to, you've already searched enough. Let's keep going. Let's broaden the search.
But even if you live in Davidson County, if you live in Robertson County, if you live anywhere in Sumner County and adjoining counties that you think he could have made it to your property, search those streets, creeks, streams, tributaries, ponds, barns, outbuildings, vacant homes, anything, any place that you think he could be.
One tip, if you're searching your property, is to search it in pairs. If we have aerial assets up and they see someone walking alone.
There we go. In pairs. Who pairs? What pairs are we talking about? Who? I have never, I'm talking about the professional searchers that have come forward, that have spoken about how the importance of searching in pairs. There have been people that have volunteered to search alone. This has been highly discouraged. So we don't have where the parents searched. We really don't have a grid where volunteers search. I'm talking about like the grid that they have. There's no pathway. There's no grid map that they've managed themselves. The searching in pairs, we know that has not happened. We know that volunteer searchers have gone out on their own again. I'll keep repeating that. Yet this is so early and they're being told to search in pairs.
Through a field, we're going to deploy resources to make sure that is not Sebastian. Secondly, if you're out searching your field and something happens to you, someone needs to be able to call for help and tend to you while we're on the way to help you. So if you're searching, please search in pairs and be safe.
What's the weather been like to possibly affect the search?
Weather, our primary concern with weather is for Sebastian. So the rain that we got and the cold temperatures yesterday and into last night gave us concern for hypothermia. But for rescuers, we put rain gear on when we go. Our mounted people, we're using a lot of tactical officers at night with FLIR or with night vision. And
they're using tactical officers at night. So those nighttime searches were going on. So this just wasn't a fair weather day. And we know that we never heard about the volunteers going searching in pairs on the grid at night. So the idea that this was the largest manhunt in the history of Tennessee is very easy to see. I don't know where you go from this occurring to thinking that they had not done their job, like where the disconnect would be. I don't get that.
So our search personnel, the weather does not bother them. They go and they're going to perform the search. We're looking at rain tomorrow. The temperature is going to stabilize a little bit. 245 and 17 are feeding us weather on request, and National Weather Service is working with us every day, sending us information if anything changes. So,
Chief, I know you guys had asked for doorbell cam and surveillance camera. Have you guys been able, since Sunday night, Monday morning, been able to actually put eyes on Sebastian? Has any video actually shown him
Listen,
walking? Or
We have had several clips that have come in. Several of them we've been able to dispel. That's not Sebastian on that clip.
okay. Several clips have come in. They have not been able to say that that's Sebastian, right? Is that what he said?
has any video actually shown him
Any
We've-
video?
walking? Or
We have had several clips that have come in. Several of them we've been able to dispel. That's not
Been able to dispel.
Sebastian on that clip. We are still working every lead that comes in. So as the video comes in, our detectives, we're working really well alongside the TBI.
So I'm sorry. This is absolutely contrary to what we heard about that it was Sebastian taking the trash out. Because this is the coupling here. Number one, they don't have any, they're assuming that he walked off. But notice how they're not taking advantage of that, because they're assuming that he walked off, being that he was in good, proof of life when he took the trash out. So the assumption is that he walked off, and now we're hearing that any video clip that came in or that they've seen, it's not Sebastian. Then why did we hear about the taking the trash out? Why can't they tell us that was him taking the trash out this early on with this many people and this many resources? In the clip we're going to close it up in just a moment we're stopping at 7 minutes and 13 seconds. We're not going to continue on, but there's just enough in this piece alone to start sort of kind of drawing a little bit of psychoforensics a little bit. And maybe that's where the disconnect is that they have been not playing games with the public, but knowing that they have to play the public. So it's kind of a known strategy that they would have with the public. But then you ask the public to take on a responsibility to their property, take on the responsibility to search, check your cameras, check your property, check the tributaries. I mean, they wanted people to check. They wanted us to have the responsibility to be involved in finding him. And then they're going to turn around and treat people as if we don't need to know. They were working under the assumption that he walked off. But we are being told that they don't have there's no credibility whatsoever to any of the video clips that they had, that it was Sebastian. Okay, so here we are. We'll go ahead and we're going to end it here. Thank you so much for stopping by. This has been Beauty Bubble for a new voice on the case covering Sebastian Rogers all the month of June. Thank you, really. I know that I've been getting some more little notes and so forth. I do appreciate it. And I think that with that, we'll go ahead and walk through the removal of the clip, and that will be just me, and we'll do a reverse countdown so that you've got a little bit of a music bed to leave the stream with, and we will see you tomorrow. You can follow me on X as well if you want to drop me a note and do a thumbs up or whatever you'd like to for the posts. I was doing, and I will continue to post a bit of snark on what in the world is going on with the Krama Mamas, the insults, the threats that are becoming common fare, that I do believe that we should be aware of and try and, there is a difference between being aware and involved in what is happening to being a participant. I am not a participant. I do not subscribe to any of the channels. I do not make comments in any of their chats. And you could feel that maybe this was going to happen because of the, the need for complete dominance. And there are some dominant players. So those kinds of things are out on X due to, it's easy for me to put these things down and kind of understand and be reminded. It's kind of a little bit of a documentary, notes for the movie, which is just a bit of snark from me about, could this ever really be a movie, and who are the people, who are the main players? How is this really unfolding? And my God, where is Sebastian? The FBI today, in an update, does have a new poster. I put that poster out on my X, and Seth Rogers also on his community tab over on his YouTube channel also did. The FBI issued an update to its original missing person poster. And please study the photographs of the teenager who vanished from his home in Hendersonville, Tennessee, resulting in the largest manhunt in the state's history. I'll keep repeating that because it's just stunning. He is now 16. So definitely go over. You can download the poster. The reward is $50,000. If I read that right, I do believe that that's correct. And the details are generally the same. They may have highlighted the autism diagnosis a little bit furthermore, but certainly the pictures are more recent to his mid-teenage years versus the younger photographs. And that will be it from us. Love to say goodbye right now, so that's what we'll do. Bye-bye now.